All right, so we are doing a just recorded VOD review here. This is for Ansa, so we'll just go right ahead and get started. So first off, this is a 500 game, so this using bronze. We first thing we're always looking at is kind of what we're working with here. On Ashe, we're gonna be making sure that we're throwing our dynamites off of cooldown. We're gonna make sure that we're not moving while we're tossing them so they're easy. It's always a good idea to throw a dynamite right at spawn to start off. That way you can get a little bit of ult charge going, and you can get started on building up your bob.
Try to keep yourself
Okay.
in one piece. I don't mind an easy one.
So a little bit high. Just keep in mind that on Ashe, it's gonna be a steady arc. So I'd get real used to the arc. As a lot of times you don't have to chuck it super high. Most of the time you're not gonna have to just throw it straight up in the air. It's just gonna be better if you throw it more straight forwards or a little bit above their heads. If this becomes a problem, we can go ahead and look at it more.
Needed some healing. My barrier is destroyed.
Hey, very good dynamite there. Okay. When you're just flat out left clicking, you burn through your ammo very, very fast. So watch here how we start off with 11 ammo and then we're just gonna start left clicking and we're just gonna just burn through it all pretty much instantly and we don't even do any damage, right? We still have four ammo left, right? That's it. So just keep in mind that whenever possible, we're going to try to be just doing standard scope shots. The only time that you're using your unscoped shots is when something is low HP and you're using your unscoped shots to just finish it off, or something's right on top of you, which Reinhardt currently is not right on top of us. Yeah, you're just gonna get a lot more bang for your buck if you're just regular scope shotting. Okay. We're staying a little far out into the open there, and that results in our death, right? Make sure that we're looking to stay next to cover. So instead, we can peek here, and then if we see that we start getting shot out, we can duck behind this wall. And then the other thing is make sure that we're throwing a little bit higher above Reinhardt's shield. So again, we're struggling with the dynamite a little bit, so we'll go over this real quick. So when we're looking to go over Ashe Dynamite, we're just gonna slightly arc because we have to keep in mind that Ashe Dynamite does have an arc, so we have to slightly arc it above where we're trying to get it to go. So if we're trying to get it to go above, right, Reinhardt's shield, let's say it's like yay high-ish, right? So we're just gonna chuck it up there, right? And we're not really gonna even move our crosshair. If we need to, we can move our body, but we're just gonna try to keep our crosshair in the same spot. That way we're not standing still for it, but especially if it's right next to us while we're detonating it, we're not going to move. But the further away it gets, we may have to start moving. But we're just gonna chuck it above their heads and detonate it, right? And you can try to get a feel for it of how high you need to throw it. But just keep in mind, like the further and further away we get from them, the further we're gonna have to aim above them. Because if I just go right above them right here, look how it doesn't go anywhere, right? It just goes at his feet. So the further we get away from him, we're gonna have to throw it somewhere around here, so we can get it to just go above his head. Let's try this out here. Just one more second. So we chuck it now. We can scope in for this one. Oh yeah, that was it. That was even that wasn't even above his head, so we'd have to chuck that even higher, right? So the further away you get, you're gonna have to chuck it higher and higher, but just keep in mind you're just going to aim pretty much above their heads because you know you're trying to get it above their heads. So we're just gonna aim here, and now, yeah, now we're not even getting the same territory. So that's where you get to the range of it's probably gonna be. That's not a dynamite they're even gonna be looking to get. We just have to try to get in the general area, right? But those are gonna be super hard to hit, so that's why you try to go for dynamites at a closer range, anyways. Okay, get back into the game.
Traveling to route ready for battle.
Yeah, so you just end up dying. Let's get back to when we get back to the fight.
Helden sterben nicht.
Kill the bull.
Der Kampf ist auf dich bereit.
Okay, really pay attention to the fight when you're coming back in. So here we see that we're coming back into this fight and we have 3 people alive. So I believe we might have talked about this last time, but just as a refresher, if we did not, I just looked at the notes real quick and oh no, actually no, that was the wrong person. But yeah, just as a quick refresher, if we did not go over this during our last session, that how kill feed works, right? When we are down people, namely 3 people right here, it's a 6v3. This is a lost fight. So when we do not have our team available with us here, we need to make sure that we're not pushing this far forward, because if we try to engage here, we're just going to lose. So what we can do instead is just we can sit back here, because back here we're a lot safer to where if they start pushing us, we can back up super easily, right, and run away. But if we stay where we're at right now, we might end up getting staggered, and we're not going to get a whole lot of value here. Because if we end up dying here, that's not going to be very good for us. And make sure you're looking to use your dynamite right off a cooldown. So look to use that there. Try not to chuck it straight at your... So if you're looking to throw dynamite at your feet here, you want to make sure you're backing away from it. I would make your first instinct, instead of throwing the dynamite, to use the concussion blast, right? So if someone's diving you, what you can do is use your coach gun to boost them away, and that will, one, launch you backwards, but also boop them backwards, so you'll get double the distance in between you. But here we ended up using dynamite, which I don't think is the play, and then that means that we start burning, and then we're gonna end up dying. So
Don't move.
there we get, this is considered a stagger. That means that we went in without our team, right, into a fight that we already lost, and now we ended up dying, right? And now our team's in the middle of fighting and we're not there anymore, right? So now all our team is here fighting and we're dead, which we don't want to have happened, right? We went in too early. So instead, we want to wait until our team all comes back, and then we can go in as 6v6, right? 6 players versus 6 players, because then we're more likely to win, unless besides, trying to go in 3 players versus 6 players. That's not going to work out too well for us.
Not letting that stand.
The payload has
Okay, so yep, we
reached
end up
the
losing
target.
because of that. That was probably the big mistake that we made that point, was just us going in and staggering. Here we're just going to look to take a high ground. Toss in a dynamite.
Damage increase. I get the idea. Bob, do something.
Okay, again, this is the second time. Okay, look how we're starting this fight out. We have 1, 2, 3 people alive, right? Then we have Reinhardt and Baptiste in spawn, and Sigma is currently dead. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people alive. Okay, so again, when we are down that many people, we should not be engaging. And real quick, I'm actually gonna go check and see if we discussed this, just so that I know. Actually, no, we didn't. Okay, I didn't give you notes in our session, so I can't actually go and check. But I guess we'll just go over that real quick, just in case I didn't go over this with you. But if not, this will just be a really good refresher. But make sure keeping an eye on kill feed. So if you keep an eye on kill feed, what kill feed will do for you is it'll give you a flow of the fight, right? So if you are up 1 to 2 people, right, you get 1 to 2 picks. That means that you guys are winning the fight. You can look to play more aggressive, and you can push in. Okay, if you're down 2 to 3 people, which is what we're starting off here at we're down 3 people currently, right? Versus there's 6 people, that is where a fight is lost. Okay, 2 to 3 people down is a lost fight, and therefore we don't want to use ultimates. We want to be looking to back out, and if we can't back out, we want to die. Okay, so in this scenario, we shouldn't be engaging. We shouldn't be starting the fight here. We shouldn't be using our ultimate, because what's going to happen is this is 100%. We're not going to win this fight off of this. I guarantee we're not going to win this fight. And Bob is just they're all going to just shred Bob immediately. Okay, Bash is just going to shoot at Bob. He's going to die immediately, and we're not going to get any value out of it. So we want to wait until our team gets back and we can go in with 6 people instead of going in with 3 people. Now this also goes the opposite way, right? When you are down 1 to 2 people, now you're at a disadvantage. want to be backing up. When you are down to sorry, my brain's not working. When you're down 1 to 2 people, that's a disadvantage. When you're down 2 to 3 people, that means that you've lost the fight. And then that also goes the other way, which is when you win, right, when you're up people, right? When you're up 2 to 3 people, that's when you have won the fight. So if you were this enemy team here, you would have already won the fight because you have the pick advantage. You have more people than them, the man advantage. I'm kind of stuttering a lot with my words right here, so sorry about that. See, look how fast Bob goes, right? Bob's already dead here, right? After about 2 seconds, and we're not going to get any value just because of the time that we're engaging. So really look to fit, like, kind of smooth out these engages so that we're engaging at a better time. Okay? If we see that they're all here, what we can do is we don't even need to peek over the edge, but we can just launch a dynamite straight forwards, right? So straight over the edge and just detonate it right there, right? And then we can just get them super easily because we know that they're there. We hear them, right? We know that they were all on cart, and we can see cart through the wall. So we can very easily just get a good old fat dynamite in there if we just throw it straight forwards. Yep. We're using dynamite a little too infrequently, right? Make sure you're looking to use that, off of cooldown every single time that you get it available. Because that is going to be a really good source of Bob and ult charge for you. Or Bob, charge, and damage, right? Make sure that when you're paying attention to your health bar, and when you're low, you press I need healing. That way your supports know where you are and they can come heal you. When you press I need healing, it gives them an in-game audio cue, the same way that you can hear when, for example, the Genji starts blading and you know where he's at. The supports now know where you're at. So spam I need healing, step in front of him. Okay, so focus a little bit more on your shots, okay? Slow it down because this is not the first time this has happened. Make sure you're concentrating on each individual shot because if you need to, yeah, I'd much prefer to see you shoot like 2 or 3 shots here versus shooting 10 times and missing all the shots, and just be a little bit slower with it. And then once you get better with your aim, you can start to speed this up, right, and go faster and faster and faster. But look how many shots we miss here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, right? We just missed 17 shots in a row because we're not slowing down and making sure we're aiming these shots, right? So slow it down. Make sure you're focusing on your shots. Don't panic when there's a Genji on you. Keep calm. Take your time with it, right? I'd much rather see you shoot in that whole time. I'd much rather see you shoot 5 shots and hit them than see you shoot 17 shots and miss all 17 of them. Right, we're missing even more shots. Hey, good dynamite.
The
Let's
payload
clean up
has
this
reached the
mess.
checkpoint.
Good dynamite, right? That's exactly what you're trying to do. Just get it over the shield. Good shots. Okay, so right now we're even if we're watching kill feed, so we can look to be we're kind of neutral here, but they are going to go for the res. So now we're down 1. We're at the disadvantage until our Reinhardt gets back. Yep, good decision. I like this decision. We're taking the high ground, which is going to be very, very good for us. Yeah, we just got to watch for the Genji going on us. Slow down and make sure that you're aiming more of your shots because we are missing a lot of them. Now, let's see, when did we use Bob here? What's our team doing? Did we just use Bob? Oh, wow. Our team's dead, right? So if we're paying attention to this, what happens here, right? We're down just Reinhardt and that's it. But then, right? Then we lose our Moira or our Mercy, right? So then we're down a second person. And then our Moira dies, right? So now we're down 2. Right, so we're using Bob after we're down 3 people, right? Reinhardt's still in spawn, so right now it's just us, Sigma, and Sombra. So, third time in a row, right? Third time that we've done this is we're engaging this fight while we've already lost the fight, right? We're trying to start a lost fight before, like, and you can very obviously see now that you're like rewatching this that you're going to have so much more of an advantage if you're coming back at this with 6 people versus if you're coming at this with 3 people. And then again, Bob gets instantly melted. We don't get any. He doesn't get any kills, and we're just gonna end up staggering ourselves because we're trying to stay out here and fight.
Nerf this. Patched up. All systems checked out. Game on. Smoke them out.
All right, so this is a good testament to Braun's awareness. Okay, so make sure you're keeping your ears open. Make sure you're paying attention to your screen. As you see on in the right next to your crosshair here, you can see there's a little red dot. That is a damage indicator, so that will tell you a direction that you are taking damage from. You can see that here your health bar goes down, right?
Patched up.
So we hear shurikens. Shuriken, damage indicator, health bar goes down. Okay, Shuriken went past our face there, right? Damage, health goes down again. We see a damage indicator at the very bottom of our crosshair. Okay,
Smoke 'em out of there.
health goes down again. Still hearing shurikens, and Genji just waltzing up behind us, right? Genji's been here for the past like 5 seconds or so, right? Just takes us a super long time to notice that he's there. Right, so just make sure you're keeping your eyes and your ears open. You're watching the corners of your screen. You're watching a health bar. You're keeping your ears open. You're listening for the Genji, right? Because you guys don't have a Genji. So if you hear any footsteps at all near you, make sure you're just checking, right?
The payload is approaching its destination.
Okay, good dynamite, good shots. I like to see you left clicking a little bit less. That was a good usage of left click there, but it's just you end up using it a lot. And you'll just notice that you're gonna get a lot more value if you're just looking to use your right click more often, because you get, like I said before, you get more bang for your buck out of each individual shot. So unless something's right next to you or it's low, you're gonna be right clicking. Or sorry, scoped shooting. Okay.
Much better.
This little blue ball, what box on the back of his head, the little blue cube, is Bastion's head hitbox while he is in sentry form. So instead of just start shooting at him, what you can do is just run up behind him and start shooting at that thing, and then you'll be doing, 2 times the amount of damage. Good melee to finish that off. That's a good habit to get into. We pretty much already won this fight, so it's right. This is again another example of this is a one fight. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, almost 6 people alive. They have 1, 2, 3 people alive, right? So we have won this fight very, very securely. So if we ended up using Bob here, this would be a mistake. So let's see. Hopefully we don't. Okay, so we do. Okay, so that's a mistake, right? Again, because we're not paying attention to who's won or lost the fight. So if we're counting that up, so far this is the 4th time we've misinterpreted a fight, and we have misused Bob 3 times just because we're not doing the watching kill feed, right? We're not paying attention to who's winning, because right now we have spawns, close spawns, right? Our spawns are an inch from us. Their spawns are all the way over here. Okay, so we already have that advantage. Plus, they only have 3 people alive, right? We just killed two of them, and Bastion's still in spawn. So we just threw in Bob here when it's a 6v3. Which means that we very, very firmly won this fight. We don't need Bob here. Okay, so again, this is probably the big thing that's ruining this game, is we're wasting ultimates, and we're engaging at the wrong times. Now we can push forward here. We can most definitely get super aggressive and clean up those kills, right? Go push forward, be aggressive, kill those guys because they're pushing back in when they only have 3 of them. But we don't want to use our ultimate because it's just not going to be necessary.
Smoke 'em out of there.
Make sure you're arcing that a little bit more. Good job not going for it, though. That's a good habit to get into as well. You don't want to be going for it if it's not near anything.
My barrier is destroyed.
Hey,
Barrier
who's
is
stagnant?
What is that melody?
When you're chucking at that distance, try scoping in, and it'll make it a lot easier because you'll get the lowered sensitivity, and you'll get the zoom in as well. Again, that distance just better off to be scoped shooting because you're gonna get a lot more damage in. Make sure when you're 100 HP, just peek over the edge and request healing, or drop back and grab the health pack, right? Just make sure you're not sitting at half HP because that's not going to be very good for you. Okay, good choice. Good awareness there.
I'm out of here. Nerf this. Fire in the hole.
Okay, so if we're watching kill feed, we got to pick, but they rezzed the Genji, right? We killed the Genji, they rezzed Genji, and then they killed somebody. So right now, if we just did that quick math in our head, we are down 1 currently.
Go, the Mahal.
Hey, good decision to go grab the health pack again. It seems like we're doing really good with our situational awareness of knowing, watching our health bar here. We just need to transfer that awareness over to team fights as well. It's the big thing this game.
EMP activated.
Welcome out of there. Whew.
The power of
Heaven shrouded in hell.
I require assistance. I cast this force. Activating the barrier. My barrier is destroyed.
Round 1
Okay, so
complete.
again, I don't know whether or not we've gone over this, and that's unfortunate because this would mean that we would save time if I did, and I'm sorry about this because I have a lot of different coaching sessions. But again, this is a good reminder for you. If we did go over this, is just a good reminder, and if not, then this is just something you need to work on. But we're going to go over crosshair placement. So crosshair placement is taking your crosshair and placing it in the best place possible so that you can get the most value out of it. So if we have our crosshair always here, which is, I can show you when we go back to the game that you're walking around like this, right? That means that when we go to shoot people, we have to go up and to the left or up and to the right, and that's a lot of space that we have to adjust to, and that means that our shots are gonna be more inaccurate because whenever you have to go a longer distance with your crosshair, it's going to be a harder shot to hit, and therefore you're going to be missing it more often. But if we keep our crosshair at head level, that's going to mean that we just have to go to the left or to the right, which it means that there's a lot less adjustment and the shots become a lot easier. The other thing this does is it means that all spam shots are now just going to head hitboxes, right? Versus all spam shots just hitting bodies, right? And bodies just are going to be doing a lot less damage. Okay. So we can demonstrate this by this. 1, 2, 3 headshots to kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 body shots to kill. So you're just gonna be doing a lot more when you're aiming head level. Okay, we see the bot up on the top left, so we're pre-aiming at head level, right? This is head level, right a little bit outside of the door, and then they just walk into our shot. Right. We are already aiming head level on our left because we know they're on our left. We're pre-aiming left side, so we're peeking this corner, already aiming at their head. Okay, we know that they're slanted down a little bit, so we're looking downwards here while we're peeking the corner. We're already aiming at their heads, right? So if we're using this while we're aiming and we're making sure we're keeping head level, then we're just gonna be doing a lot more. And on top of that, when we aim where people are at, it's just gonna be easier to land shots in general, right? Because we're not gonna have to adjust as far when we're going to hit people.
Traveling to route ready for battle.
So you can see here, while we're walking out, look at where our crosshairs at, right? You just see this. It's just, that means we have to adjust up, and when we go to shoot, if it's not on head level, it's at body level. So just make sure we're keeping that at head level. Okay, so we end up swapping to Reaper.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Observe the barrier.
Escort the payload.
Alright, so, whoops, he was invisible. Can we see him before we teleport is my question.
1. Attackers incoming.
No.
Escort the payload.
Okay, so it looks like we teleported before we saw him. Just right here, I would just make sure that as soon as you see that the Bastion knows you're there, it's just Wraith, right? Make sure your first reaction whenever you're taking damage is to just Wraith out. Just keep that in mind, and we won't take it nearly as much damage. Use your Wraith and your Teleport to get back from spawn. Yep, good job. That's exactly what you want to try to be doing. Just drop in behind them. Yep, go on the Mercy. Exactly right. Perfect gameplay here. This is exactly what you want to be doing. Just drop in behind them and then Wraith back to your team if you need to. Good pick. Good kills. Watch the res whenever we know that they have a Mercy. We have to make sure that they're not getting a res off. But we got 3 picks. That's really, really good. 4. Ooh, very, very good. 5 kills. Insane. That's exactly the types of plays you want to be making. Okay. In this position, again, right? This time we do have our team, but we're not utilizing our team. Look at where we're engaging. We're engaging 3 people versus our 1, like, on our own, right? So we're going in versus a lot of people. So we just have to be careful that we're not getting too aggressive to where they can just pretty much instantly kill us. Because this just become very, very dangerous to where we stepped forward a little too far. Right, and then that meant that we died, right? So make sure you're not going too far ahead of your team because look at where the rest of your team's at. So make sure you're waiting for your team. If your team went up there, that'd be fine. But don't go in and verse multiple people by yourself. Because then that results in your death. Okay, so we're coming back into this fight. We're looking at if we're winning through the wall. We see that we still have 3 teammates alive, and we got 3 of them. So if we come back here, we're actually at the advantage. So we still want to be going in. Make sure you're aiming at head level. Look at where our crosshair's at. Okay, make sure you're not walking in a straight line here. Look at how we walk in a straight line, not behind cover. Here, walk more to the right side so that we're leaving their line of sight. As well as the fact that you should be trying to go to be AD strafing. So that's when you go left, right, so that we're not getting shot as easily. Zigzagging is always going to mean that you're taking less damage than walking in a straight line. Right. Really just got to work on making sure we're not dying so often here. Okay, so now that we lost that fight, we just want to regroup as a team. We don't want to go in here because right now, if we go in, we have still 2 people in spawn. They now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, right? So hopefully we don't do this again, but we're about to re-engage. It looks like we're about to go back in. Yep, probably not a good idea to be here poking. Okay. Try not to get aggressive when you don't have Fade available. Right? You can be more aggressive when you have Fade available because Fade is your way to get out. But if you don't have Fade, then you don't have a way to get out. So try not to be as aggressive. Okay, nice. We got 2. We're up here. We have 3. Going in. Yeah, we won this fight, right? This is a 1 fight because of how many kills we got. Good decision not to use your ultimate.
The payload has reached the repositioning. Power of destruction.
Okay, so again, look at where our team's at. Right, all the way back here. Look at where we're at. We're trying to engage. Again, we have our team alive, but they're just not there with us, right? So make sure we're in this spot once our team's up closer. We're not trying to do this too early because even if we try to fade back, right, we're not gonna be able to fade all the way back here because it's just too far of a distance. So here we just push way too far forwards without waiting for our team to get here. Okay, very good. If at all possible, always try to do that sneakily. You did end up getting away with it, but you just kind of ran straight at them. In the future, maybe try coming from a behind or above them, and then that way it's not as easy for them to, shoot at you and kill you, or stun you out of your ultimate. Yeah, so we are winning this fight. Yeah, we got all the picks. Good job.
My task is not complete.
Get into position.
Repositioning.
Okay, nice kill.
Now ready. Surrender to my will.
Good job. Hey, so on Reaper, and I can't remember again. I'm so sorry. I feel like we went over this on Reaper. But just remember that this is again another thing where it's just a reminder if you're not, because I've not seen you do it often enough. On Reaper, your playstyle is essentially I teleport in behind the enemy team, right? Teleport in, shoot at stuff from behind, shoot, shoot, shoot. We can get in close to them, and then we wraith back to our team. Okay, we wait for we poke on the front line here. Okay, we wait for our cooldowns to come back. We wait till we get our wraith back up, and then we can again teleport back in behind them. Okay, shoot them up in their back line. This means that we're getting close to them, because remember, you're a close range character, not a long range character. You can't do anything from here, right? We're not doing any damage. But when we get up closer by teleporting behind people, right, now we're doing a lot of damage, right? We can even one-shot people. So be looking getting that close range just by teleporting in behind them, instead of just sitting there on the front line.
Traveling to route ready for battle.
Repositioning.
Okay, so we decide to go on the flank. Nice. We got picks. We have the advantage. Alright, yep, we're just pushing forward. Really, really good aggression. Just make sure it's not too far forward. Yep, good decision to get back. Our tech is going a lot much better because... Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm going to assume that was an accident. If not, that's not a... it's a... If that wasn't an accident, I'd probably say it's not a very good idea to ult the wall. Good job with that bashing. Good approach using the cover and then watching for when he stops shooting. Right, you can see how effective these flanks are because we keep getting so much value when we go on these flanks. Oh, don't run at him when you're reloading, right? Wait till you're done reloading, or just, don't reload while you're running at him. Because there we end up running at him while we're in the middle of reloading.
Try that again. My ultimate is charging. Ultimate is charging.
Surrender to my will.
Yeah, don't push in aggressively on people when you only have 100 HP. Right, probably be a little bit smarter if we wait and we requested healing from our supports. Remember, I haven't seen you do that yet. Make sure you're trying to do that. Remember, don't go in aggressive when you don't have Wraith available there. We just got too aggressive there, right? That's kind of the big overarching point of the whole session here, is that you just are too aggressive at the wrong times. Okay. So again, we're in their back line when we have 3 people alive and these guys aren't even in the fight, right? Look at where the rest of our team's at. So we keep on running into these fights while we've already lost the fight. And that's going to mean that we're going to stagger, right? We die, and then now when we come back from spawn, look how far behind our team we are. Right? Look how they're all up fighting the last fight here, where this is the last fight, and we ended up dying too late. Right, so and then they end up losing the fight because now they're down a person. So that's why staggering is not going to be good. Right, and then we get melted, and then I'm pretty sure that's it. Yep, game's done. All right, so overarching points, right? What's the main problem? This game, it was aggression. Make sure that you're not going in when you don't have teammates, and make sure that you are going in when you have the advantage, right? But the big thing is we're getting too aggressive at certain times. Okay, so just make sure you're watching kill feed. Make sure you're aware of what's going on around you. Keep up good crosshair placement. Throw dynamites off of cooldown with Ashe. Look to you teleport in and then shoot it in the back line and then wraith out. And that should be pretty much it. Okay, I'm going to end the recording here and I'll see you later.